Welcome back to Your Fantasy Nerd, where it is time for our second edition of our our rankings of quarterback here in this video. We had original rankings of our May-June version, but now we're bringing you our official July-August versions, where you can take into your drafts and our opinions. So what I'll go ahead and do here is read off the top 10 at quarterback. This is just me and him combining the two rankings. So number 1, Aaron Rodgers. Number 2, Andrew Luck. Number 3, Russell Wilson. 4, Peyton Manning. 5, Ben Roethlisberger. Number 6, Drew Brees. Number 7, Matt Ryan. Number 8, Cam Newton. 9, Tony Romo. And rounding it out is Tom Brady. So the first guy we'll talk about at number 4 is Peyton Manning. I know you have kind of doubts about Peyton Manning. What do you think of him?
Well, I actually have a number 3, but I think the doubts are the injury, because I think that he's just getting worn out, and I think that he's getting older, and I don't know how that neck's going to hold up. I know everyone's saying that, but he's just a stud. He's been always consistent, and I think that Sanders, and I think Demaryius Thomas is going to have a record-breaking season. I have him as my number 1 wide receiver right now, and I just think that I think Peyton Manning's going to do his thing. He could touch interceptions. He had 15. He had 39 touchdowns, so I don't think that's a problem at all, and I think that you could look for him to have similar numbers this year.
Yeah, I agree. I think the only doubt about Peyton Manning, I have him at 4, so the only thing I'm fearful about with him is just that he's getting up there, obviously, with age. But the main thing is that his offense that he's in now is much more run-heavy. I mean, Gary Kubiak coming in there, you see that run-heavy style with him in Baltimore. Joe Flacco was very conservative. I know with Peyton Manning, though, he's a gunslinger. He's going to throw it around. His arm's definitely gone.
I was about to say that.
Yeah.
I was going to say. His arm, his deep ball, you can't really throw it to that. That's another concern. Yeah,
so I think that's just not why he's a top 2 quarterback anymore. When he goes past like week 10, when it starts to get a little chilly out there, when it's getting up with the snow, I mean, he's definitely not someone you can assume will be a top 5 quarterback. So one thing I might want to do with Peyton Manning is trade him after like mid-season. If he's having a great season, trade him high, because he's going to go down. You know he will. He always does when it gets cold. So the next guy we'll talk about is Matt Ryan at number 7.
I have him at number 7 in my ranking. I think that he kind of digressed last season. I think everyone had him, and I had him in the top 5 last year. I think that his targets are just very good at Julio Jones, Rodney White. I think that the loss of Douglas is going to be actually a substantial loss. But I think because when you saw when guys went out, either Julio Jones or Rodney White, he'd step up. But I think that he's going to stay at number 7 right here for me, and I like that position for him.
Yeah, Matt Ryan's always been kind of just around the 7 through 10 range, so why not do it again? He's in a division that will allow him to throw a ton. That division sucks defensively. So I think that with Matt Ryan there, I think he's definitely going to be able to chuck it all around the field with two of the best receivers in football, with Julio and Roddy. So definitely take him at number 7, I think. He's very consistent. No doubt he won't do it again. The next quarterback is Tony Romo at number 9.
I have him at number 11 in my personal rankings, and he had a breakout year last year. I mean, he was unbelievable. 34 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. That was his best season he's had in a while. He didn't throw as many interceptions, and I think he'll have kind of digressed, because I think he just had an amazing season having Murray in the backfield. I think Dallas's year last year was their year that they could have won the Super Bowl. I think they digressed as a team, and I think Tony Romo will have a mediocre season. I think number 11 in my position is a good spot for him.
Yeah, I have him at actually number 8 here. I'll tell you why. I think there's 2 ways you can look at Tony Romo. You can look at him as you said, losing Murray, he's going to throw more picks, he's going to be more passes there, there's going to be more concerns. Or you can look at it as he has to pass the ball more because Murray's gone, because now they have Joseph Randle in the backfield. I'm looking at it that way, because I think while his yardage will definitely go up, I think, this season. His picks may too, but I think that kind of balances out, and I think he can actually eclipse 4,000 yards this year. A healthy Des Bryant, knowing that he'll be on the team, I think that's helpful. And
so you think he'll throw for about 300 more yards this year?
Yes, I do. I think he'll definitely increase he only threw like 50 yards last year, somewhere around there. So I think that definitely goes up, because they barely
and his
pass the
QB
ball.
percentage is pretty good.
Yeah.
I think it was one
his
of the highest.
touchdown interception.
I think it was
ratio.
by 7. I think it was 70.
It might have, yeah.
It was somewhere around
He
there.
had 34 touchdowns, 9 picks. I think the touchdowns hover around there. His picks will go up a little bit, but I like him here at 8. All right, now moving on to our 11 through 15 at quarterback. You can read it on the screen, but Ryan Tannehill at 11, number 12, Matthew Stafford, 13, Phillip Rivers, 14, Eli Manning, and 15, the second-year quarterback, Teddy Bridgewater. So the only guy we're going to highlight here is Teddy Bridgewater. What do you think of Teddy Bridgewater?
I have him at number 14. I think that he's going to have a very, very good season this year. He had a very good second half of the year. He didn't throw a lot of touchdowns, though, and he didn't really have a number 1 wide receiver, and I don't think he has one yet. I think Devontae Parker could develop into being one. I think having Mike Wallace, Johnson, and Parker will really help him this year. I think Rudolph will I think he'll have a better year this season, and having Adrian Peterson back in that backfield will help him a lot, and I can see him throwing for around 20 touchdowns compared to 14, which he had last year. So I think he'll have a better year, and he showed what he could do in the second half of the year.
Yeah, he's a really talented runner, too. I have him at 17, so not as high, but I still think he's a very good quarterback. I just don't know whether or not he's a worthy QB1 around that range. The only reason is because they're going to be run heavy. I don't think there's any question. That team wants to run. They want to run Adrian Peterson into the ground. Because he's making a ton of money too. So I think that the reason Bridgewater is lower is just because they want to give Peterson the ball. His options are decent, okay.
But I think running the ball will open up the field for him to play action because they're going to have to. They're not going to be able to run it.
I mean, maybe he'll have a Tony Romo-like season where he's super efficient. So there's still question marks behind him. Second-year quarterbacks don't really turn into QB1s around now. I mean, there's been a couple luck. There's been just recents, but not that often. So that's why I have him at 17. But yeah, that'll go ahead and wrap up our quarterback rankings for the July through August. You can go ahead and check out more videos here at Your Fantasy Nerd. Like us, go ahead and comment, disagree, agree. So, see you later, folks.